everyone, it's Josh from Blockchain DXB and today is the 20th of March 2024 and in just a few hours guys, Federal Chair Jerome Powell will be making an announcement on the interest rate hike, and based on that I'm pretty much sure the price of Bitcoin and the global cryptocurrency market will significantly be impacted. Now I've been saying this since the last few days guys. What I'd really recommend you to do is go to YouTube, subscribe to the Federal Reserve Board channel's website and go ahead and listen to what he says. And what I'm going to be doing guys is in tomorrow's episode, I'm going to go ahead and give my thoughts and opinion on it. Now I'm pretty much sure guys, because of this news, there's going to be drastic movement in the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So what I'd really recommend you to do is keep a track on what is going on so far as the volume of stablecoin is concerned. Because look, if Jerome Powell increases the interest rate hike, I'm pretty much sure a lot of selling would be going on. But rather than selling it on decentralized exchanges, a lot of them might be using decentralized exchanges. And most likely, guys, people will be converting the crypto assets into stable coins. Those are my honest opinions, to be honest. But we'll just have to wait and see, I guess. And speaking about the global cryptocurrency market, guys, it has marginally pumped up since the last 24 hours. But to be honest, guys, I'm definitely expecting drastic movement in the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency after the announcement is made. And guys, listen, since the past few days, Solana's volume has been picking up paces in it. Unfortunately, guys, the volume has been overtaken by Binance BNB chain. And as of today, Binance BNB chain is number 3rd, and Solana has gone back to number 4th, so I'll definitely go ahead and touch base on that news as well. Now in today's episode, guys, we have some massive update, and that is regarding an Ethereum ETF. Now, will an Ethereum ETF be approved? At this point of time, guys, I really am not sure, because I was under the anticipation that there is a 90% chance of an Ethereum spot ETF to be approved, but Eric Balkanis, who is one of the OGs so far as ETF is concerned, he's actually giving it less than 40% chances for it to be approved, so I'll definitely go and discuss this. And guys, we also have some update regarding Genesis. Now we all know the drama between Genesis, Gemini Exchange, Grayscale Investments, Barry Silbert, and Winklevoss Brothers, isn't it? Now the news is that Genesis has agreed to pay the US Security and Exchange Commission a fine of $21 million, so I'll definitely go ahead and discuss what that news is all about. And guys, we also have some positive news in the world of tokenization that is connected to BlackRock. And BlackRock, guys, is launching a tokenized asset fund. Now look, guys, I wouldn't be surprised if the next happens regarding tokenization. And in yesterday's episode, guys, I very briefly explained what is security token offering. And in today's episode, guys, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and explain how security token offering can be used in the sector of real estate. And guys, listen, if you're working or building something on that, please drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. I would definitely like to have you on my podcast. And finally, guys, towards the end, I'm going to be talking about some positive news from Binance. That is regarding the founder and former CEO of Binance, that is Changpeng Zhao or CZ. And he's actually launching a new academy called as Giggle Academy. And look, guys, the intentions are absolutely brilliant. So I'll definitely go ahead and talk what that news is all about. And guys, like we do in every Crypto and Coffee a Day podcast, I'm going to be discussing 2 news from Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East. Now, both the news, guys, has to do with artificial intelligence. And the first news, guys, has to do with Dubai, and the second news has to do with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Now, so far as Dubai is concerned, Dubai has upskilled over 170 government employees in generative artificial intelligence. So I'll definitely go ahead and share what that news is all about. Now, regarding the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, guys, they plan to invest $40 billion AI investment fund. That is being overseen by A16Z, and there is a report which is being published. So I'll definitely go on and talk about it. Now, unfortunately, guys, I hate saying this. When you talk about blockchain technology, the only area where blockchain technology fits, at least for now, is that the data of the artificial intelligence can probably be stored in an open blockchain. And the only protocol I can think of is Ethereum. Because imagine if the blockchain actually stops producing blocks like Solana, the impact it will have on artificial intelligence will be absolutely catastrophic, isn't it? So quite a lot to cover, guys, in today's episode. So let's kickstart with it right away. Welcome to the Crypto and Coffee a Day, the daily podcast that keeps you up to date on all latest developments in the world of cryptocurrencies, blockchain, and NFTs. Join us Monday to Friday as we kick off your day with a cup of coffee and a deep dive into the exciting and rapidly evolving world of digital assets. We'll cover the latest news and trends in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space, as well as delve into the growing world of NFTs or non-fungible tokens and metaverse. Plus, we'll keep you updated on the latest developments from Dubai, UAE, and the wider Middle East region. Whether you're a seasoned crypto enthusiast or just getting started, Crypto and Coffee a Day has something for you. Our expert host will provide insight and analysis on the most important topics in the industry and help you stay up to date on the latest developments. They'll bring you interviews with leading figures in the crypto and blockchain space and explore the ways in which these technologies are changing the world around us, from the impact on traditional financial systems to the potential for revolutionizing industries and transforming societies. We'll cover it all on Crypto and Coffee a Day. So tune in and join us for a daily dose of Crypto and Coffee a Day, and let's stay ahead of the curve together. We'll start your day off right with the most important news and insights from the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the metaverse, and help you navigate this exciting and rapidly evolving landscape. In Crypto and Coffee a Day, the daily podcast covers the latest developments in the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the metaverse. We'll also bring you updates on the latest news from Dubai, UAE and wider Middle East region. This also includes a range of topics such as developments in the local and blockchain industry, including new projects and initiatives, regulatory updates, and policies related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region, local and regional events and conferences focused on crypto and blockchain, interviews with leading figures in Dubai, UAE and Middle East crypto and blockchain community, coverage of any significant news or events related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region. By covering these local and regional developments, in addition to the wider world of cryptocurrency and blockchain, Crypto and Coffee a Day aims to provide a comprehensive overview of the industry and its impact on the Dubai, UAE and Middle East region. Now before we kickstart today's episode, I have an important message, so check this out. Thank you to our sponsors for being part of the blockchain DXB journey. Firstly, Advanced Media. Advanced Media, guys, is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode. As a matter of fact, guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well, and Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm. And here's the beautiful thing, guys, they're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously, and they're focusing on 3 P's, that is people, planet and prosperity. Now listen, guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website, that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing, guys, they also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so, guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE, so definitely check it out. And also, guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing and hosting training workshops, seminars and community events that educate, inform and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen, guys, do one thing. If you do want to support this channel, go to the website, that is www.amt.tv, and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Tough Mudder Arabia, guys, they are putting some really iconic events in the Middle East, and there is one final event of the season that takes place on the 20th of April in the iconic location called as Al Marjan in Ras Al Khaimah. And the final event of the season, guys, is not going to be an ordinary event. They're going to be having some really cool obstacles. And so far as Tough Mudder is concerned, guys, they create hardcore obstacle courses designed to test your all-round strength, stamina and mental grit. And with the most innovative courses and millions of participants all around the world, it is the premier challenge series in the world. Now look at Tough Mudder Arabia, they did put out, if not one of the biggest events in the world of obstacle course race, and they did that with the highest prize money in the history of obstacle course race. And what better way to end the series by having one final event on the 20th of April in the iconic location. Now look, guys, one of my goals is to complete 100 Tough Mudder, and I'm very close to getting there. Now if you want to go ahead and sign up for this event, the registration link is in the show notes below. So what are you waiting for, guys? Get your friends, get your family members, get your colleagues. The link to the registration for Tough Mudder Arabia on the 20th of April is in the show notes below. And if you go through the link, guys, there is a cool discount code mentioned in the show notes below as well. So hopefully, guys, I see you at the Tough Mudder event. Next, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect
with global like-minded engineers, a brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below.
Now, guys, since you're taking care of that, let's kickstart by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. Now, since the last 24 hours, guys, the global cryptocurrency market is pretty much the same. It is at $2.43 trillion. And since the last 24 hours, it is marginally up by 1.08%. Now, if you look at the total cryptocurrency market volume since the last 24 hours, guys, it is at a staggering over $150 billion. It is at $156.77 billion. But since the last 24 hours, guys, it has actually gone down by 12.62%. Now, if you look at the total volume in DeFi, guys, it is only at $13.01 billion. And if you look at the total value locked, guys, it is well below the $100 billion mark. As a matter of fact, guys, it is even below the $90 billion mark. It is only at $89.36 billion. Now, what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, look at DeFiLlama.com. It goes and gives you more information regarding total value locked and even regarding NFT marketplaces. And if you look at total value locked, guys, Lido is still dominating with $32.24 billion. And if you look at decentralized to centralized exchange dominance, it is extremely strong at 38.13%. Now look, guys, I'm really curious to check what happens to decentralized to centralized exchange volume tomorrow. I wouldn't be surprised if the dominant percentage is below the 20%, maybe even below the 15% mark. And so far as DeFi is concerned, guys, it is accounting for less than 10% of the total crypto market volume at only 8.19%. Now let me very quickly run through the 24-hour volume, guys, because Uniswap's volume has crossed the $3 billion mark. It is at $3.03 billion. And PancakeSwap's volume, guys, might be on the verge of crossing the $2 billion mark, because right now it is at $1.93 billion. Orca, guys, is at number 3rd, and its volume is $1.41 billion. And there are 2 new DeFi protocols, guys, which are on top 5. The 4th one is Phoenix, and in terms of dollar amount, the 24-hour volume is $788.12 billion. And the 5th one, guys, is Lifinity, and its volume is $704.58 million. Now look, guys, the only reason why there is so much of transaction taking place in decentralized exchanges, that is because investors are looking ahead for the announcement by Jerome Powell, isn't it? And look, guys, in an idealistic world, when you talk about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, these news should not be making any difference. And that was the whole intention of creating cryptocurrency, isn't it? Satoshi Nakamoto's vision of creating Bitcoin was separation of money and the state. So policies such as this ideally should not be making any impact. Now when will that thing happen? I really am not sure. Or even if it will ever happen, I really am not sure, to be honest. Now let me very quickly run through the volume of stable coins, guys. And I'd really recommend you to look at these volumes 3 to 4 hours after Jerome Powell goes live, because that is when mainstream media picks up news regarding Jerome Powell's announcement, and they often tend to put out their own narrative. Now, so far as the volume of stablecoins is concerned, it is at $144.88 billion, and stablecoins, guys, as of today, is accounting for 91.20% of the total cryptocurrency market volume, and it's needless to say, guys, that Tether USDT is leading the pack. Despite it being delisted by OKX exchange yesterday in Europe, it is at $116.77 billion, and FDUSD, guys, is at number 2nd, and its volume is $13.98 billion. And finally, Circle USDC, guys, its volume is $12.44 billion. Now, let me very quickly run through the market cap, 24-hour trading volume, and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum. And unfortunately, guys, the numbers are not looking good at all. Bitcoin's market cap, as a matter of fact, has gone down to $1.25 trillion. Just few days ago, guys, I was discussing if there is a possibility of the market cap of Bitcoin alone to cross the $2 trillion mark, isn't it? Unfortunately, a lot of selling is actually going on in the world of Bitcoin. Now, as of now, it is at $1.25 trillion. So it's going to be really interesting to see, guys, what this number is tomorrow. Now, Ethereum's market cap, guys, is at $402 billion. If you look at the dominance of Bitcoin, guys, it is at 52%, whereas Ethereum's dominance is 16.60%. If you look at the 24-hour trading volume, guys, Bitcoin's 24-hour trading volume is $63.81 billion, whereas Ethereum's 24-hour trading volume is $31.77 billion. Now, if you look at these 24-hour trading volume, guys, clearly a lot of selling is going on, isn't it? Because the price of Bitcoin is actually on a downtrend. Now, guys, this week I'm looking at decentralized apps across different blockchain protocols. And in today's episode, guys, let me very quickly run through the decentralized apps that are working on US blockchain. Now, look, guys, it's really important to note that I'm looking at the fiat value of incoming token transfers from unique active wallets to decentralized app smart contract over a period of time. And when you talk about over a period of time, that is literally 24 hours. So the top 5 apps working on US blockchain is DeFi Box, Pcash Swap, Newsdesk, Sportsbet.one, and BetHash. Now let me just quickly run through the 24-hour volume in terms of dollar amount, guys. Because DeFi Box's volume is $459,980. Pcash Swap, guys, its volume is $188,000. Newsdesk, guys, its volume is $135,180. Sportsbet.one, guys, its volume is $15,980. And finally, guys, BetHash's volume is $15,000. Now, it's needless to say, guys, that these numbers are really rookie numbers, and ideally these numbers should be 10 times, maybe 100 times of what it is, isn't it? So it looks like we have a lot way to go where decentralized apps do actually overtake the volume and use case of so-called Web 2.0 or centralized apps. Now, guys, before we look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin, let me go ahead and share more bits and pieces of information regarding security token offering, because in today's episode later on, I'm going to go ahead and discuss what is BlackRock getting into so far as tokenization is concerned, isn't it? Now, what I'm going to be doing today, guys, is I'll go ahead and talk what security token offering is for real estate sector. And guys, security token offerings for real estate is a method of raising capital for real estate projects through the issuance of digital securities or security tokens, which are backed by tangible real estate assets. And this innovation approach, guys, combines the benefits of blockchain technology with traditional real asset investment model, offering increased liquidity, transparency, and accessibility to a wide range of investors. So the big question, guys, is how in the hell does security token offering for real estate work? So let me go ahead and explore 7 key areas. The first one, guys, is asset tokenization, and the real estate asset, whether it's a residential property, commercial building, or land, is tokenized by dividing its ownership rights into digital tokens, and each token, guys, represents a fractional ownership stake in the underlying property. And this process allows for the efficient division and transfer of ownership interest. And the second point, guys, has to do with regulatory compliance. Since security tokens represent ownership of a regulated asset, the security token offering must comply with the applicable security regulations in the jurisdiction where it operates. This involves thorough legal and regulatory due diligence to ensure compliance with security laws, such as registration requirements and investor accreditation. The third one, guys, is smart contract creation. And smart contracts, that is self-executing contracts with the term of agreement directly written into code, are deployed on blockchain network to govern the issuance, transfer, and redemption of security tokens. And these smart contracts, guys, automate many aspects of investment process, including dividend distribution, voting rights, and compliance measures. And the fourth one, guys, I'd like to talk about is investor onboarding. An investor interested in participating in the security token offering undergo a KYC and anti-money laundering verification process, and they do that to ensure compliance with regulatory requirements. And once verified, guys, investors can purchase security tokens either directly from the issuer or through a licensed digital security exchange. And the fifth point, guys, is token offerings. And the issuer, guys, conducts a public or private offering of the security tokens, setting the terms of offering such as the price per token, minimum investment amount, and any associated rights or privileges. And investors can purchase tokens using fiat currencies, cryptocurrencies, or other accepted form of payments as well. And the sixth point, guys, is regarding asset management. And after the security token offering concludes and the real estate asset is tokenized, the issuer or a designated asset manager is responsible for managing the property, collecting rental income, and distributing dividends to token holders. And blockchain technology, guys, as we know, provides transparent and auditable records of asset performances in it. Because of that, it ensures accountability to investors. And finally, guys, the seventh point I'd like to talk about is regarding liquidity and secondary trading. And one of the key advantages of security token is the liquidity. And guys, I briefly went ahead and explained this in my episode yesterday as well, so please feel free to go and check it out. And guys, regarding real estate, investors can trade their tokens on secondary digital markets. And guys, so far security token offerings for real estate is concerned, investors can trade their tokens on secondary market, such as digital security exchanges, providing liquidity and price discovery. Now, this feature, guys, allows investors to buy and sell their ownership stakes in real estate assets without the traditional constraints of illiquidity associated with direct property ownership. So, overall, guys, security token offerings for real estate present a promising opportunity to democratize access to real estate investment opportunities, streamline capital formation, and also enhance liquidity in the market, all while maintaining regulatory compliance and investor protection. However, guys, it's essential for issuers, investors, and regulators to navigate the evolving legal and technological landscape to unlock the full potential of this innovative financial mechanism. So those are some points, guys, regarding security token offerings and real estate. Now, what I'm going to be doing, guys, is 2 weeks from now, I'm definitely going to go ahead and schedule some interviews precisely focusing on tokenization. And I'd like to start with real estate and then probably look at different industries and sectors as well. Now, guys, let's look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. And the price of Bitcoin, guys, has marginally pumped up since the last 24 hours. It is still shy of $64,000. It is at $63,918. And since the last 24 hours, guys, it is marginally up by 0.46%. And since the last 7 days, it is down by 12.22%. Ethereum, guys, has also marginally picked up pace, and it is up by 1.65% since the last 24 hours. But since the last 7 days, it is down by 16.51%. Now, right now, guys, the price of Ethereum is $3,346. As and when we get some update regarding Ethereum spot ETF, I'm pretty much sure that news is definitely going to be impacting the price of Ethereum. But in today's episode, guys, I'm going to be discussing not so good news regarding Ethereum spot ETF. But as and when news develops, I'll definitely go ahead and share more bits and pieces of information regarding this news. Now, surprisingly, guys, Binance BNB coin is at number 3rd once again, and the price of Binance BNB, guys, is at $531. Since the last 24 hours, it is marginally up by 2.53%. Since the last 7 days, it is down by 10.72%. Now, yesterday, guys, when I looked at Solana's market cap, there was a massive difference between Binance BNB chain and Solana. But since the last 24 hours, looks like a lot of volume is actually taking place in Binance BNB chain. And later on, guys, towards the end of the episode, I'll go ahead and discuss some positive news, I guess, and that is to do with the former CEO and founder of Binance, that is CZ. So please stay tuned to that. Now, some update regarding Ethereum ETF, guys. And the US Security and Exchange Commission, guys, has delayed the decision on proposed spot ETF by hashtags and ARK21 shares. And this decision, guys, was actually announced yesterday, that is on 19th of March. And this did come before the third deadline, with a final decision for both ETF application expected by late of May. Now, here's the interesting bit, guys. When we talk about ARK21 shares, they will face a final decision on May 24th, while hashtag's application deadline is set on or before May 30th. Now, analysts, guys, are skeptical about the approval prospects for 8 currently proposed Ethereum ETF, and they are actually expressing concern about the lack of engagement between SEC and the issuers, unlike the case of Bitcoin spot ETF, isn't it? Now, so far as Ethereum ETF is concerned, guys, These Ethereum ETFs come from various entities including BlackRock, Grayscale, Fidelity, Invesco Galaxy, Vanek, Hashdex, and Franklin Templeton. The Lucas, are a lot of multi-billionaire and trillion-giant companies are involved in this, isn't it? And unfortunately, guys, if you look at it at a macro level, looks like cryptocurrencies is becoming mainstream. Unfortunately, guys, the rich are going to get richer. And if you're not getting into the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency game, hashtag have fun staying poor. Now, so far as the approval of Ethereum ETF is concerned, guys, Bloomberg ETF analyst Eric Balkanis, who I probably would have mentioned well over 50 times recently regarding Ethereum ETF or Bitcoin ETF news, he has actually lowered the Ethereum ETF approval odds from 50% to 35%. Now, look, guys, what I'd really recommend you to do is follow him on Twitter or X, because he constantly provides most updates regarding Ethereum world, not necessarily cryptocurrency related, but he constantly got and provides updates regarding cryptocurrency and blockchain protocol that are connected to ETF world. Now, guys, let's discuss some drama regarding Genesis, and they have finally agreed to pay $21 million as penalty to settle SEC charges. Now, look, guys, Genesis Global Capital, they have actually agreed to pay 21 million shares as civil penalty to settle charges with the US Security and Exchange Commission, and this was over its involvement in the now defunct Gemini Own program. And the settlement, guys, formalized after a New York judge denied motion by Genesis and Gemini to stop the SEC case following bankruptcy filing by Genesis and its affiliates. That the US Security and Exchange Commission, guys, will not receive any portion of the penalty until all the other allowed claims are paid. And this was actually stated by the regulator. And Gary Gensler, who's the chair of the SEC, emphasized the importance of enforcing security laws in the crypto lending space to such settlements. Now, what I'd really recommend you to do is, guys, in the show notes below, there is an official filing by the US Security and Exchange Commission, so please feel free to go and check it out. Now, guys, let's go and discuss massive news regarding BlackRock, and looks like they are heavily involved in tokenization. And BlackRock, guys, has filed documents with the US Security and Exchange Commission, and it is called as the BlackRock USD Institutional Digital Liquidity Fund, and the fund size, guys, was not disclosed, but the minimum investment accepted is $100,000, and speculations are suggesting that the funds, guys, may be Ethereum-based, with stablecoin asset in the basket as well. It's really important to note, guys, that it is registered in the British Virgin Islands in 2023, and the BlackRock USD Institutional Digital Liquidity Fund will act as a pooled investment fund. Now, if you do want to look at the official link, guys, it is in the show notes below directly from the US Security and Exchange Commission website. Now, it's really important to note, guys, that this news is connected to Ethereum Spot ETF, isn't it? And the news of this fund, guys, comes in the hope that a Spot Ethereum ETF may be approved. So it's going to be really interesting to see, guys, if an Ethereum Spot ETF will be approved or not. I personally think, guys, there is a 90% chance for an Ethereum Spot ETF to be approved. Because, look, Ethereum is deemed not a security, so I don't see absolutely any reason why as to an Ethereum Spot ETF may not be approved, unless there are teeny tiny loopholes with the applicators may not have filled in, but they can go ahead and resubmit it. And if not in this turn, maybe in the future turns, it will definitely get approved. Now, the key date you need to be looking at is the 23rd of May, and that will give us a clear-cut information if an Ethereum Spot ETF has been approved or not. Now, guys, let's discuss some positive news, and that is regarding Changpeng Zhao CZ, and he's actually got and launched a new academy called as the Giggle Academy. Now, look, guys, what he's actually mentioned via Twitter is this, is that the most impactful thing I could do for the next chapter of my life, and he's talking about Giggle Academy. And so far as Giggle Academy is concerned, guys, they plan to offer free basic training to grade 1 to 12ish, and the education is completely free for all, and absolutely no revenue will be generated, and it's going to be gamified and adaptive as well. Now listen, guys, if you're someone who's into content creation and can actually go ahead and create some digital content, be a part of it, and the link for it is in the show notes below, or you can also go to CZ's Twitter account and just look at that tweet, and there is a Google form that you need to go ahead and fill in, and most likely you'll be working directly with CZ. But listen, guys, I'm pretty much sure you won't be earning any money, because this whole idea is corporate social responsibility, isn't it? Now, unfortunately, guys, I hate saying this, but CZ could be potentially facing jail time in the United States of America. But nonetheless, guys, Giggle Academy is definitely positive news, and it is giving out free education, isn't it? So definitely positive news, I guess. So those were the news, guys, from the cryptocurrency and blockchain world. Now let's look at two news from Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East. And both the news, guys, has to do with artificial intelligence. So let me go ahead and give out information regarding the news from Dubai. Because Dubai, guys, has upskilled over 170 government employees and they did that in the field of generative artificial intelligence, and more than 170 prominent employees, guys, in Dubai were trained with generative artificial intelligence tool. Now, if you do want to look at the official news, guys, this is published by the local government official channel, that is Emirates News Agency, and the website is WAM.ae, that is W for water, A for alpha, M for mother.ae. And so far as this news is concerned, guys, the training was conducted by Dubai Future Academy and the Dubai Future Foundation, and the initiative, guys, follows announcement by His Highness Sheikh Hamdan bin Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, and Dubai Center for Artificial Intelligence launched the enhanced government AI usage, and the courses covered basics of generative AI, current applications and successful cases, and they were focusing on utilizing artificial intelligence tools like ChatGPT, and the areas that they were focusing on is decision making, company establishment, and economic growth. Now look, guys, if you're not using ChatGPT, I really am not sure what you're doing. ChatGPT 4 is a paid one, and the outcome of ChatGPT 4 is absolutely ridiculously good. And so far as this news is concerned, guys, there's a lot of emphasis on matching legislative and policy advancement with technological progress, and there was introduction to innovative generative AI tools and the potential impact on government agencies. And Abdulaziz Al-Jaziri, the deputy CEO of DFF, that is Dubai Future Foundation, highlighted the importance of empowering national talents, and the goal is to develop effective AI applications for enhancing government performance. An initiative supports DCI objectives of empowering government employees with AI skills, and the aim is to make Dubai government the global leader in AI utilization. Now look, as far as Saudi Arabia is concerned, they're definitely leaps and bounds ahead of other countries, but it looks like Dubai and the UAE is definitely catching up. And so far as this training is concerned, key areas included legislative developments, global technological interactions, and talent nurturing. And the implementation, guys, aligns with the directive of His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, and the objective is to apply AI technologies across various sectors. And the training was emphasized on learning global AI practices and trends. An intensive course is designed to equip participants with latest AI expertise. And Dubai, guys, as we know, aims to bolster national capabilities in AI to local talent development. So definitely positive news. Now look, guys, I do have a standalone episode which is completely written by artificial intelligence, and even my voice is cloned by artificial intelligence. Now the first episode that I released was dedicated only to Saudi Arabia, but what I'll do is I'll go ahead and release a standalone episode in artificial intelligence, focusing on Dubai and other Emirates. Now, guys, let's discuss second news, and that is to do with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And looks like they're investing a staggering $40 billion in AI investment, and this is in collaboration with A16Z. So let me go ahead and give out more information, guys, because Saudi Arabia is reportedly considering a $40 billion investment fund for artificial intelligence, and the fund could be established in the second half of this year, and the Public Investment Fund of Saudi Arabia is involved in the discussion. And potential partnership, guys, is that Silicon Valley venture capitalist firm and Reese Horowitz, also called as A16Z. Another venture capitalist may also participate in the AI fund. And there is a possibility of A16Z setting up an office in Riyadh, that is the capital of Saudi Arabia. And Ben Horowitz, guys, A16Z's co-founder, has some really strong connection with Saudi Arabia's fund governor Yasir Al-Rumayyan. And if realized, guys, Saudi Arabia would become the largest investor in artificial intelligence. And the fund launch is predicted in the second half of 2024, but plans are subject to change. And Microsoft's investment, guys, in OpenAI amounted to $13 billion, less than half the size of the Saudi Arabia's proposed fund. And the source of the fund, guys, would be Saudi Arabia's $900 billion sovereign wealth fund, and they're focusing on investing in chip makers and large data centers for AI technology. Now look, guys, artificial intelligence is definitely here, isn't it? And if you talk about chips and semiconductors and nanochips, this is absolutely a massive area to get into. And so far as this news is concerned, there are strong consideration of starting their own AI companies, and Joe Biden, guys, issued executive order for new AI safety standards, and a lot of the advocates of artificial intelligence were definitely not happy about it, and looks like a lot of them will be moving into the Middle East. Now, so far as this news is concerned, guys, measures include urging AI firms to report vital information to the Department of Commerce. In OpenAI CEO Sam Altman is seeking $7 trillion from UAE for semiconductor chip development. In Saudi Arabia's AI fund is aimed at advancing AI technology and infrastructure. And look, guys, it's going to be an absolutely bloody race. And I wouldn't be surprised, guys, if Saudi Arabia eventually turns out to be the leader. Now, so far as Dubai and other Emirates is concerned, they're definitely very proactive. And what I'm really liking, guys, when I'm reading news from Dubai and the other Emirates, A lot of the use cases are already there as opposed to works in the future. So definitely positive news. And look, as I've always said this, when it comes to artificial intelligence, I wouldn't be surprised if the Middle East turns out to be the leader, not just in the MENA region, but probably in the entire world as well. So definitely positive news. And that's about all, guys, on the cryptocurrency, blockchain, and artificial intelligence. For from Crypto and Coffee at 8 from Blockchain DXB. In case if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my other website area2071.com that talks everything about metaverse. And guys, if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. Now for the next few minutes is going to be an Ask Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. So let's kickstart with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's Josh from Blockchain DXB. You're listening to the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. I have a question by Roshan who asks, do you think Federal Chair Jerome Powell will be increasing the interest rate hike or keeping the same? To be honest, Roshan, based on the information that I received last month, I wouldn't be surprised if he does actually keep the same interest rate hike, but I wouldn't be surprised if he actually goes ahead and increases the interest rate hike. And the reasoning is pretty simple. He looks at numbers based on CPI data, and the CPI data for the last 2 months were definitely not looking good. And based on that, guys, I'm pretty much sure his role is to go ahead and put the inflation down, isn't it? Now, if he keeps the interest rate the same, what is to say that the next month the CPI numbers will not go down? Because no other policies are governing to go ahead and kick down the inflation down. But let's say if he goes and increases the interest rate hike, there is some anticipation that in the next CPI numbers, the inflation would marginally go down. And look, what I really recommend you, Roshan, and our listeners to do is Jerome Powell will be going live on YouTube. And when he goes live on YouTube, he goes ahead and gives reasoning as to why he's going ahead and increasing the interest rate hike, keeping it the same, or reducing the interest rate hike. And I've been watching Jerome Powell non-stop every month for well over 2 years. And there is a common theme, and the theme is to get the inflation down to 2%. Now, when President Donald Trump was in charge, the inflation cost in the US was at 1%, but ever since Joe Biden took office, the inflation reached a new all-time high, and at one point of time, it was the highest in 40 years. Now, based on all these data, guys, he's definitely going to go and make a decision. Now, so far as political influences, they are pretty much sure Jerome Powell and his team are absolutely straight-up people if they do not take into consideration any political influence. Now, I tend to watch a lot of Tucker Carlson videos, and I absolutely love what he's saying, but one of the videos actually put out was he's actually stating that the Federal Reserve Board is actually siding with Joe Biden administration. This is definitely not true, and I did actually reply to the tweet as well. But going back to your question, I do have this feeling that he might actually keep the interest rate the same. The second option I would say is maybe he'll go ahead and increase the interest rate hike. Now, in both of these cases, unfortunately, I do feel that the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies will go down, but let's say for some wild circumstance, and maybe he has some more data, and if he anticipates the inflation to go down, he would actually go and reduce the interest rate hike. And if that thing happens, it just means that the market is doing phenomenally good, and the investor sentiment will be more positive, and that will actually pump the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. But will that thing happen? We'll just have to wait and see. So what I'm going to be doing is, Roshan, in tomorrow's episode, I'll go ahead and cover more bits and pieces of information regarding this news, but definitely an excellent question. And once again, guys, what I'd really recommend our listeners to do is go to YouTube channel, listen to what Jerome Powell is saying, and also listen to the question and answer session, and then make up your own mind. And that's about all, guys, on the Ask Me Anything series on Blockchain DXB. In case if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Check out our website www.blockchaindxb.com. And also check out my website, area2071.com, that talks everything about metaverse. And guys, if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And remember, guys, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m., we have Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. Now, the series of episodes of the Crypto and Coffee at 8 works is We usually cover some top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE, and the Middle East, so far as cryptocurrency is concerned. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.